What if I told you that Pinterest could double your traffic on Etsy? Just like my client Nee here, if you are willing to spend 10 minutes a day doing simple actions on Pinterest, you could be driving hundreds of thousands of visits to your shop without paying for anything. These actions alone got her 1 million extra free impressions on her products. I'm gonna break down exactly how I used Pinterest and other free tools to get over 50,000 visits per month on my Etsy shop, and these are strategies that I'm using with thousands of other sellers right now, so they work this year. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dylan Jahraus, and I've been on Etsy over 8 years, made over $1 million in profit on the platform, sold over 1.7 million in revenue. My whole background is corporate e-commerce. I worked for some big companies like Zappos and Zulily, and now I'm teaching over 4,000 Etsy sellers how to scale their businesses, and we do that through private coaching. Now, some people have asked, oh, why are you teaching if you were so successful on Etsy? Well, I've been teaching since 2022 after I made my first $1 million in profit. And a lot of people were asking, how are you making all this money with Etsy? I didn't realize you could make that much. And I realized no one was teaching real corporate e-commerce principles about the Etsy platform. And today I'm going to dive in specifically to a question that I've been getting a lot. And it's, how do I get more visits and eyes on my shop? Because no matter how good your items are and how cute your shop looks, you're going to get no sales if you have no visitors. At one point, I was driving over half of my traffic on Etsy organically. And I've consistently gotten as many as 50,000 views per month on my shop. Now, I want to get this out of the way. You do not need Etsy ads if you have the time, because then you really can drive your own traffic organically. The difference is with Etsy ads, right? It's like a faucet. You turn them off, you turn them on, your traffic will dramatically change based on that. But when you have built-in organic traffic sources, your traffic is much more consistent and it's much more stable for your business. Not to mention it's free. So let's take a look at, for example, 1 year. So we can see 485,000 visits to the shop. This is not even views. This is visits in 1 year. So now if we break down our traffic sources, Etsy brought 71% of the visits and I brought 29% of the visits. Now the app brought 155,000 visits. Etsy search brought 49,000 visits, and Etsy marketing and SEO, such as on Google, on Bing, on Yahoo, actually brought 140,000 visits. I can get into a strategy on how to increase that more later. 20% came from direct and other traffic. So that could be like blogs, outside websites, forums, social media. We can see the breakdown here. 110,000 visits. Of that, 104,000 was from Pinterest. Facebook, 4,900, Instagram, 1,200, and Etsy ads, 8,100. Now, a lot of people are asking, how did you get that traffic from Pinterest? This was organic Pinterest. I want to be really clear. I was not doing any Pinterest ads. As soon as you set up a business Pinterest account, they will reach out to you to start setting up ads. You don't have to do that. This is all organic. So with Pinterest, it's very important that you get a business account. We're going to click sign up, create a free business account. You'll put in your name, a password, your birth date, and create your account. Now, the key is you are creating a business account, not a personal account, because this is what will allow you to see the analytics. The analytics will show you what is working and what you should do more of. You are going to describe your business. I would say online merchant, your business name, your country, your website. You can put your Etsy shop in there, your business goal, focus of the brand. Are you interested in ads? I'm going to say no. So you're going to live in your business hub and see your organic success, impressions, engagement, saves, top pins. And then in your analytics overview, you can even get larger insights. You can get audience insight, Pinterest trends as well. But you can scroll down and actually see total impressions. You can see engagements, you can see pin clicks, you can see outbound clicks, and you can see saves, of course. I recommend looking at 90-day metrics or 60-day metrics just because it does take time for things to build up momentum on Pinterest. Now, if I was a new shop or it was a shop that was struggling with traffic, I would go hard and consistent with Pinterest right now. I would put daily time and effort into it, at least 10 minutes a day. Pinterest pins, they live forever, and it's kind of like a snowball effect, where if they do get picked up, then they build and they build and they build. So unlike Instagram or Facebook, where if a post doesn't get picked up with momentum in the first 24 hours, it kind of just disappears into the darkness and you never see it again. And when pins build, the traffic to the boards build and the rest of the pins get a lift as well. So you're putting in the effort up front for the long-term benefit in traffic. The 100,000 visits from Pinterest to my shop, that was about, I would say 15 to 18 months of Pinterest. Now you'll be paying attention to the data and the analytics analytics to make decisions, and it will show you exactly which pins are working, what people are saving outbound, the click rate, whether they're actually clicking out to go to your Etsy page, and it's really a lot of information that will tell you what's working and what's not. So I'm going to show you how to create pins of your own stuff. Let's go ahead. I'm using the Google Chrome extension, and let's go ahead and pretend that we have a shop here. This would do really well on Pinterest. So we're going to save it with the little Chrome extension, and we're going to pick the board that it goes on, and I'm going to put this on baby shower ideas. And this is a group board. By the way, a group board, there are group boards, and then there's your personal boards, and you're saving it to that. Now, where did it go? Did it just go into the ether? No, you click view, and you can see now it is on that group board. And you can see this is a group board with 4,379 pins, about 17 or 18 people in the group, and my pin is right here. Let's grab another pin. Let's say this is the one we want to pin. So you can also, instead of clicking up here to pin something, you can just hover right over the image itself and select the board. Baby life and nursery decor. This was one of my classic boards that I used heavily in promoting my own products. Okay, so we click save, and it shows you all of the SEO in place. It's all saved. You can see your pin stats and track that as it progresses with traffic. So here is that board. You can see these are my own pins. So an example, this had 5,400 impressions, and then just in the last 30 days, 123 pin clicks, 7 saves. So we can see all my SEOs here, all saved, links and everything. If they click visit site, it will take them to the page. Now with our Pinterest strategy, I really recommend at least 20 pins per day. And right, these are not all your own pins. That's really, really important. We're not just pinning our own stuff. So this is more of a basic 101 version of Pinterest. And I go into this in depth with actually how to get people to repin your stuff on Pinterest in my program and coaching. But this is the 101 version, so you have an idea of what it means by driving traffic from Pinterest to your shop. Now, maybe you're wondering, how do I get people who are actually going to Etsy to find my stuff? It's really pretty basic. You need great, amazing SEO, great titles, great tags, great keywords, great descriptions. You need amazing photos. The photo, right, is what they're clicking on when they're going through search results. They're probably not even reading the description or the title. They're only seeing the first few words anyways of that title. So the photo is going to be the reason that they click. How do I make it in front of the customer so that they can click? That's where SEO comes in. And that's where you need to be on point with long tail keywords. You need to know what keywords are trending, but most importantly, you need to know exactly who your customer is and what they're typing into the search bar. And you can look at things like Everbee and eRank and Marmalade all day, but what it really comes down to is basic common sense. And you have to have a clear understanding of your customer and what they would type in. And you also need to know how this person thinks, how they speak, how they spell certain things. And those are actually the keys to having a chance of getting in front of a truly profitable customer. Now you might be thinking, how do you get all that traffic from Etsy's marketing, right? Where it says Etsy marketing and SEO. And this is because, first of all, if your shop does $10,000 or more, you have no choice but to opt in to Offsite Ads. So Etsy does choose whether or not they advertise my items on Google, Yahoo, Bing, etc. And as a result, I got to the point where I just built that directly into my pricing. So you can see with Etsy marketing what they were searching to find these products. So floral letters, floral garlands, these are some of the terms that they were searching to then come to my shop. And they might have searched for floral letter, but then they bought a $700 flower wall, and that flower wall would now have that cut from this offsite ad, even though it was a different product that brought them in. So you always want to make sure you're building it into the price of the item that person actually buys, and it might not be the item that got them into your shop. It's really nice though that Etsy handles all of that advertising for you through Google. And in order to get picked up, you will need to have products that are very highly searched and maybe something that is trending in search, but you do have to be something people are searching for on Google. And not every item on Etsy is going to be highly searched on Google. Very specific items that solve problems are often highly searched on Google. So if you're wanting to leverage more of Etsy's marketing through those search engines, you will want to learn what keywords are driving them from offsite ads to your shop and do more of that and include more of those search terms in your SEO. So for me, that would be including more search terms like custom flower letters, baby shower, floral letters, flower garland, flower letter, flower number for 21st, crib with tulle canopy. See, I didn't even sell that. It's fascinating that that got people to my shop. So maybe you're wondering, how should you drive your own traffic if you don't want to pay for ads? Well, across these options, you have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, but I do recommend putting your focus into one of those. And I personally think Pinterest is the perfect place to start. I like Pinterest because I found that people on Pinterest are more used to clicking on a pin and going to another site. So they're more comfortable and they're expecting to click on something that takes them off of Pinterest. And when you compare that to people on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, those people, they are ready to stay in the platform. They're not always expecting to leave the platform with any little thing they're interested in. Instagram and TikTok specifically have worked really hard to keep you on there, and they want to keep you swiping and going down those rabbit holes where Pinterest users are used to clicking on pins to go to external links. Now, if you want to really take advantage of Pinterest, I highly recommend going after trends that aren't yet on Etsy, because Pinterest is a very trend-focused platform. And if you want to see my top trends for 2025 that are not yet saturated on Etsy, go check out this video.